Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Watkin. I'm the Director of Customer Service at Phone.com and co-blogger for Communicate Better blog. Enjoying a nice rainy day in San Diego. Jenny, I'm here with my partner in crime, Jenny. What are you up to, Jenny?
Hello, Jeremy. It is quite a rainy day today. And, because rainy days are so much water, I'm drinking a lot of water right now. We just had a big holiday potluck, and I'm pretty stuffed. Gotta water it down.
What did you contribute to the potluck?
Well, I brought a little bit of my Irish heritage into the mix and made a Irish Guinness beef stew, some beer bread, and some Guinness brownies. Like a true Irish girl.
Loves her beer.
What did you contribute, Jeremy?
Oh, well, I've had several occasions where I was able to go abroad. I guess Hawaii's not abroad, that's still the US, but it's across an ocean. So I brought some spam musubi and I brought some fried plantains a la Nigeria, where I spent 3 weeks at one time. And I also wore traditional Nigerian costume. There they just call it clothes.
You know what? I had never had spam until today, and it wasn't the most horrible thing. It was good, like with the sauce and the rice and the seaweed.
Yeah, it's a good combination. I might try and make a healthier option next time I make that, but it's authentic. I learned from a Hawaiian.
Nice, better.
So you got the water. I got the water.
Cheers.
Um, it's funny. Jenny and I are both in Southern California, and it is rainy here. And if you didn't know about Southern California, when it's rainy, everything shuts down. The highways shut down. Jenny, what are your feelings on driving in the rain?
Well, you know what? I will say that living on the East Coast for a few years and driving on the East Coast for a couple years, and snow and such, really taught me to be a little wiser on the roads. But California roads are not made for a lot of rain, and man, people freak out on the road. There's people going way too fast and people going way too slow, and it's crazy out, crazy. Yeah.
I might be more on the fast side, but
Oh.
I'm a safe driver. I only text a little bit. Um,
Bad. No texting and driving.
no, I don't. I'm physically not able to. I don't have any thumbs.
Oh.
Sorry.
Burn.
We actually have this thing on in the afternoon we call afternoon funky time. Uh, Especially after we've had that much food. I'm a little bit loopy right now. So we're talking about customer service. How about I segue? Um, we have been hiring in our contact center, and make and it's always a fun adventure. Um, Everything shuts down so that we can onboard new people. It's in the small customer service operation, that's what happens. Everybody lends a hand in bringing these new people on. We have pretty low turnover, um, so in the event, once a year when someone leaves, we have to hire to replace them, and then we hire for a little growth as well. Hopefully, a lot of growth in the coming year. Um, but hiring's really an adventure. Jenny and we've interviewed some great candidates, and I've shared a couple posts. I'd like to just wrap with Jenny for a few minutes about. Um, well, let's talk first about some guidelines for hiring for culture. Jenny, what are some? I wrote a post with 8 different guidelines, but what really stands out to you in trying to hire the right people that fit what we do here at Phone.com?
Well, I think for me personally, I mean, it's not like any formal training, but I always kind of just go for how do they introduce themselves? Do they, shake your hand? Do they look you in the eye? Do they have a smile on their face? Do they seem like they're genuinely happy to be there? Yeah, maybe a little nervous, but genuinely happy. And do you get that instant feeling that they're a total people person? And, I kind of just go with that. Do they have, I think I said it a few times, I don't really know what it means, but I keep repeating it. Do they have that sparkle? And I'm always looking for that in our candidates. Like there's just something about certain people that, whether it be their mannerisms or the way that they say things or just phrases they pull up, you can tell pretty much within the first few minutes if they have that sparkle that is fit for your culture and is going to shine on your team and make the rest of the team even brighter than it already is. And I really look for that. Um, but it's not any formal process, at least at this point, the sparkle process. But I definitely look for things along those lines. And, they don't necessarily have to know about everything about the company, and our interviews are pretty casual. We pretty much just have a conversation. And I mean, Jeremy, you wore your Nigerian outfit in the in the one today, and they're pretty casual. We laugh, we talk about, we have them ask us questions, and I love it when they do that because it's interesting to see what they're going to ask us and what they really want to know. It gives us insight. I think that's a huge part too, to allow the interviewed the candidate to ask you questions about the job and see where they're looking and what their path is, what they really want to know about, the job that they could end up doing. Um, it helps to give you some perspective of where they're coming from. There's always some key things I look for, especially in customer service. We're always looking for people with empathy. They talk about anything like, oh, I put myself in the customer's shoes, or, based on whatever your business is, there are certain key phrases that you're always going to look for, certain strengths that, a lot of people on your team have. It may not be all the same things, but kind of look for those things as well. So, but again, doing this, I didn't have, Jeremy, I follow your example on all of this. I really don't know the whole interview process, but watching you and in reading about some of our Twitter friends, it's helpful to see how other people do it, and then you kind of just make your own big mishmash of how to interview and how to select people based on your culture. And that was my long-winded answer.
Yeah, that was long-winded.
Sorry.
Fueled by Guinness brownies. One thing I've really enjoyed in the process is involving people in the interview process that are familiar with the culture and that can really determine the fit of the customer service rep to our culture. So I've really appreciated that. There have been times where I didn't want to hire someone but was talked into it, or vice versa. I really wanted to hire someone, and then maybe I had a blind spot about a certain thing, and someone helped me see that, or we dialogued about it, and it wasn't just me hiring them hoping that they'd fit in with everyone. It's really a team decision, and I think that's pretty cool. The thing I really want to guard against is hiring a bunch of people that are exactly like us. Mm-hmm. And I think we do have a lot of people that have very similar strengths, which is good in customer service. But sometimes when we hire people that maybe have a completely different skill set and strength set, sometimes that challenges us to broaden ourselves and learn and grow. So I find that to be a bit of an adventure. I agree with you, Jenny. I think we need to be able to have a conversation with those folks, and that needs to flow well. One thing I'd like to think about is how we're doing this almost on behalf of our customers. These are the people that our customers are basically paying to serve them. what are our customers going to think about the candidates that we select? Will they like talking to these people? And fortunately, I think we found several people lately that our customers will really like when they when they get on the phones. So yeah, hiring for culture. We have to know what our culture is, don't we?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most important. Know your culture, and then hire for it.
Man, the other thing, I've talked about it many times, but I've had people show up and quit the first day. And as I play that back in my head over and over and think about that failure, um, I'm reminded of the importance of setting clear expectations right from the start. So it's important that we do that in every interview, every hire that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you, Jenny. Uh, Having interviewed quite a few people now,
Mm-hmm.
what's one of your pet peeves, or what's something fun that you've seen happen? Stay general.
Okay, I'm gonna say general. Well, one thing is the clothing that you wear to an interview. Depending on where you're going, it doesn't have to be super professional, but it's important what you choose to wear. Um, you know, how could I say it? Just make sure the basics, that there are no like holes in it, that the button's button, that you're you don't have your stomach showing, and like things aren't ripped everywhere. As long as you look presentable and things fit, I think that's really important, and it's not necessarily a pet peeve, but I feel like it's just something you should know, you should do, and just present yourself like you're an awesome person. Present yourself that way. Um, you don't have to have the fanciest of clothing. Anything can look good. Just make sure that you're presentable. It's really one of the things that I do look for. Maybe that's super materialistic, but I mean it's one thing that it's a first impression type thing. Um, and gosh, um, another one. Let's see. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I don't really have that many. That's just one of the big ones. Would you have any pet peeves?
Well, you had that other one to help you not be too specific with it. I see Darren in the background.
Uh,
Um, to help you not have to be too specific. Um,
yeah.
don't talk yourself out of a job right in the middle of the interview.
Yes. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, we had someone that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're an internet company. We had someone tell Jenny that they didn't like the internet, so it's kind of hard to keep the interview going. They're kind of showstoppers, and
Mm-hmm.
it was one. That falls on me because we do a phone interview, and we should have been able to figure that out in the phone interview. There's some basic screening.
Yeah, I guess that, you don't have to know a lot about the company that you're going to, I think, depending on, whatever, but know something about it, know what you're getting yourself into to see if it's even something that you want to work for. I'm actually glad that happened because she was honest. Because what if we would have, like, hired that person and then they would have, like, hated the job? It just wouldn't have been a good fit for them and their life and what they want and for us. So it's just like, just kind of know a little bit about what you're doing before you step into that interview.
Yeah. One pet peeve for me, you touched on it already, but I interviewed someone a while back, and they couldn't look me or the other person in the eye
Mm.
at all. They looked down pretty much the whole time or looked away, and it was really awkward. I felt bad for them. I think eye contact is such a basic human communication skill that I felt bad when that wasn't happening.
Mm.
Um, so, some people just aren't ideally suited for customer service. It's a people communication skills job. people who do this job and do it well should get paid a lot more than they do, because it requires people who are experts at communicating and working with other people. Um, so some people aren't cut out for that. I'm glad that we're able to sift through and find the ones that are.
Yes. Yes.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about very briefly, I wrote a post a couple days ago about the application process and a few of my pet peeves along those lines. It's been really fun. We post the jobs quite frequently on Craigslist. It's a really inexpensive way to post a job and get a lot of results. Unfortunately, there's a lot of crap that goes on as well. Just a lot of resumes that, or lack thereof, that come through that just do not present the candidates well. So I wanted to talk about that, and Jenny, feel free to interject. But I had 5 things there. First of all, follow the instructions. I said clearly in the email or in the post how they apply, and then to get an email from them that says, how do I apply? I'm just like, okay, you can't follow instructions. Secondly, I think people don't realize that the moment they hit send on their email, their interview has started, especially in customer service, where we do email support as well. If you can't write a well-written email, prove that you can proofread and all of that good stuff, then you probably don't have any business doing customer service. One of my favorites was this guy that kept calling our call center demanding an interview, and I think a well-placed call to make sure your resume was received is totally fine, but hounding your future coworkers is probably not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
And then I think my last one was really, I love it when people send pictures. Pictures, or in other cases, they'll just attach a resume and not write anything in the email. That email is really their cover letter, and they kind of blew it by just sending an attachment, which I look at that and go, is that a Word doc or is that a computer virus that someone just sent me?
Well, yeah.
Those are some of my pet peeves, but it's fun to sift through that and try and find the diamonds in the rough.
True that, man. It's interesting. So interesting how many people can't follow basic instructions. Crazy.
Totally.
But I really like how you said the interview begins as soon as you click send on that email or upload the resume on LinkedIn or whatever you're doing. It begins right then and there, and that's really just huge. It's true.
Yeah.
So, well said. Well said, Watkin.
On that note, we're still hiring, so might as well put in a plug for phone.com. You want to work customer service for us, and you're in maybe not Poway at this point, but Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
We're hiring over there, and you get to work with our awesome team. Jenny, anything else going on in your world of customer service?
Well, I'll just kind of touch on one of the posts I wrote this week. I had some great feedback from a customer, and it was a small fee issue, just a small little bill. And the customer wrote in the feedback, small fee, big memories. And I was like, whoa, that's so true. And I kind of applied that to other areas and talk about it in my post, how it's like, it could be a little piddly 25-cent thing, but if the service really sucks, you're going to remember that. It doesn't matter how much the product is, or if it's really expensive and you get really sucky service, you'll remember it. Or if it's super cheap, you could go to the, sometimes you go to the dollar store, pick up something real quick, and you get the best service ever. But you go to some fancy schmancy place, and you get treated like dirt. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? What's this? And so it was just kind of interesting how it's not always about how much the product is, but it does come down to service about how you remember it in the long run. And, yeah. That's my plug for that post. Just really interesting. Made me think.
Yeah, it's so true.
For you, Jeremy, this week?
I mean, you think about tons of different companies you do business with, and some you don't spend a lot of money with, but they're just mind-blowing services. I think about In-N-Out Burger.
Mm-hmm.
They're always on their game, and it's great. It's small money compared to other hamburger places, but just a wonderful experience. It's so refreshing.
Yeah. Hey, you think of those places you go and you pay like $10 for a burger, some fancy burger, and you get treated like you're not even welcome there, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? This is all mixed up. So. Service matters, not what you pay all the time.
Man, yeah, and you think about those building these lasting relationships with customers, and how a customer may only call us once, and their impression of whoever they get, it's like the lottery. Whoever they get, that person needs to be on and consistently awesome. Otherwise, it's going to reflect on phone.com, and we might not be able to recover.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, I shouldn't be so negative. They might get a Jenny on the phone and be like, "I spoke with Jenny. I love phone.com." They might propose marriage or whatever.
Actually, there was a customer I talked to just yesterday. She left us a year ago. She left phone.com a year ago, thought she, would get better service elsewhere. And I worked with her, helped her, whatever. Well, a year later, she calls me directly and was like, I'm not happy where I moved, but I remembered you, and I remembered, how you helped me, even though I left, but I want to come back. And now she's coming back a year later. I was like, you remember that? She's like, I don't really remember much about your service, but I remember, you were really helpful. And, to have those connections with members of our team and for people to remember and then return. So it's really cool. I thought that was awesome. Great.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. You're definitely one of the best at that, Jenny.
Well, thank you. I think everyone on our team is really good at that, and we all have moments like that. You too. There's people that come back and they'll remember you. That lasts in their head, and it's kind of like, whoa, I left an impact. About that.
Not so much me.
Hey, give yourself some credit.
Very cool.
Yes.
Well, this has been a fantastic hangout.
Yes.
I think I'm still recovering from the amazing lunch that we had. Concoction of international delights in my belly. So I think it's time to end this and go take a nap.
Sounds good. Good night.
I hope everybody who watches this, first of all, made it to the end and sees this part of the hangout. But secondly, has an amazing weekend.
Weekend.
All right. See you, Jenny. Maybe next time we'll give a tour of our new office.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's do it next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.